The national champion women's basketball team will visit the White House. Now this morning, Angel Reese says she's planning to join her teammates on the visit. Earlier in the week, Reese suggested the team should skip the White House trip and instead visit the Obamas. Skip, I want to start with you on this one. What do these latest developments tell you?
Shannon Sharp, I have mixed emotions about what just transpired. As I've told you all week, I believe in the stance that Angel Reese took. My emotions are mixed because I was a little surprised, maybe a whole lot surprised, that LSU announced yesterday, we will go to the White House. That came from on high. That went to the president's office. Yes. That went to the Board of Regents, and they all said, you know what? That's enough. And you can make a case that Angel got a little too carried away with her new IG following. I think it went up over 1 million. John Morant went out of his way to go to Baton Rouge and visit her. Right. She's been on kind of a national media tour. But I still believe in her stance. And I do believe in her right to choose not to go to the White House in and of herself. Yes. But I think she just got left on an island in and of herself. Correct. And I'm pretty sure that from the president on down, they sent the message to Kim Mulkey and the assistant coaches, we need all of you to do your homework, do your research. We need to know what every member of the team is thinking about this. And I think the feedback was from the team, yeah, we would like to go. Yeah. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I don't know, maybe they'll win it next year and get to go back. Right. Angel's going to be back for another year. Right. As is Caitlin Clark at Iowa. Maybe they'll meet again for the championship. Right. I'd be watching. You'd be watching. Absolutely. Okay. So the point is, when LSU said, we are going, then all of a sudden everybody had to fall in line behind that. And to Angel's credit, and I think this is where you were heading yesterday, it's time to let it go. And today she let it go because her quotes this morning, I think they were on ESPN on SportsCenter. She said, I know my team probably wants to go for sure. That's like a kind of a double negative there. They do want to go. And my coaches, and they're all supportive of that. So I'm going to do what's best for the team. And if they would like to go and we decide we're going to go, then we are going to go. But it was just tough just seeing that in the beginning, what happened to her, thanks to the First Lady. But I think we'll all come together and I think it will be good. Okay, in that way, good for Angel. Right. Good for the team. Let's sort of forgive and forget. Let bygones be bygones. You made your case. They didn't apologize for the First Lady's case that she was making, but they just clarified, they amended, they omitted Iowa from the next statement by saying, LSU is invited to come to the White House. Well, that was the apology. I wasn't included all right. in the visit. So, again, mixed emotions. I guess I'm happy that Angel took a higher road here. Is that how the emotion you're feeling right now?
Skip, when I talked about it yesterday, Skip, I said, look, cooler heads prevailed. Yeah. I think when emotion is high, logic is low. Yeah. And clearly, Angel Reese was hurt and offended by what Dr. Biden said, that the losing team should also come along with the winning team to the White House. But as I also said, I didn't think what Dr. Biden said wasn't unforgivable. And forgiveness is not for the person that said it, it's for you. Yeah, so your emotions, so your feelings are not held in bondage and hostage. You can move on. Yeah. I just felt that it had run its course. Angel Reese had made her point. I think a lot of people were in her corner. And okay, excuse me. She said what she said. Okay, now it's time to move on. Skip, she even said herself, in the beginning we were hurt. It was an emotional because we knew how hard we worked for everything all year. She's right. And she was hurt. But now once
rightfully so.
Rightfully so. Yes. But like I also said, Skip, what I said, that's not her call. I said, that's not her call. The difference is between a college athlete and a pro athlete. Pro athletes carry major weight. Major weight. LeBron says, we're not going. They're not going. Steph Curry says, we're not going. Yeah. He made a unilateral decision. And everybody said, oh, hey, Steph ain't going, we not going.
That's true.
That was never her decision to make. It sounded good. And everybody's like, congratulations, yeah. Now, if she chooses not to go, that is her choice. She has a right to say, I do not want to attend. But for her to come out and say, we're not going, make a unilateral decision for everybody.
She said we. Yeah. Okay.
I know the admin were not going to go from that.
Yeah.
They were not going to go for that, Skip. And so I am glad she's doing what she's like, look, it's over, it's done. I was hurt, I was saddened by what was said, but it's time to move on. I think it's time for everybody to move on. And I'm glad they're going. Skip, I was very fortunate, like you said, going to the White House is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It's something that I was very fortunate. I was on 3 Super Bowl winning teams,
You were.
and I never went. Why? It wasn't because President Clinton was in office 2 times, and Bush Jr. was in office. It wasn't nothing about politics, Skip.
Yep.
I was training.
I got it.
That's why, Skip, I'm easy to say, oh, Travis Kelce had a better career and Gronk, because I got everything I could out of mine.
You did.
So I ain't got nothing to hold my head about because these guys are having careers that passes mine. I'm cool with that.
Yep.
But for Angel, I am so glad this young woman, she's doing a great job. She's growing up right before our eyes.
I think so too.
Because, Skip, this is not something, when you go to college, you don't know if you're ever going to be you don't plan to be in a situation like this, that every camera for almost a week wants to talk to you. Everybody wants to talk to you, want to hear what you want to say.
Yep.
And I think she's handled herself well.
Yep.
But I just think it was time to move on. I don't believe what Dr. Biden said was unforgivable. I'm glad she found it in her heart to forgive Dr. Biden. I don't know if she did, but I believe she has. And I'm glad cooler heads prevails. But Skip, as I said, Angel, this is not your call, babe. I'm gonna call it back. Young lady, this is not your call.
I got it.
Because higher ups was going to make this decision. Now, if the president, the chancellor, the board of regents, if they say we're not going, but I don't think they were ever going to start that precedent by not going. Angel, it's well within your right if you choose not to go, but I think it'd be a great opportunity for you to go with your team.
Okay.
Since you accomplished this as a team.
Okay.
Y'all go, hey, hold your head high. It's like, there, we're in the White House. Get your pictures. Get your, I don't know if they're going to let you take pictures and stuff like that, because they normally, they give you a protocol of what you can and can't do, what you can and can't ask, and what you can and can't say.
Yeah. As you pointed out, Kim Mulkey, the head coach of this team, has some political reason not to go, right?
Yeah.
And she said right after the game, in the euphoric moment of victory, when she was asked, would you go if invited to the White House? She said, yes, I would.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's going to go despite some feelings she has, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so that sort of set the precedent for that team.
Right.
Okay, you know and I know, because Angel admitted right after the game, this was a lot about Twitter. She reads constantly her responses, her replies, her ats, her mentions, and she took screenshots all year long, and the narrative was set, you're too hood, you're too ghetto.
Yep.
And now what are you saying? Twitter.
Right.
So I assume she's still reading Twitter.
I'm sure.
And I promise you, there are a whole bunch of people on Twitter who are saying, no. Don't sell out. Don't back down.
They're still trying to gas up, Skip.
Right?
They're still trying to. They're trying to put a battery in her back.
Okay.
But if I could tell this young lady anything, I said, after you play a game, give yourself 24 hours from Twitter. Give yourself 24 hours from social media. Good, bad. If you have a 30-30 game, if you have a 40-40 game, because somebody, even though that's a historic game, man or woman, somebody's going to find something to say negative, and you're going to gravitate all the, like 1 million positive, but there's one negative, and you're going to fixate on that.
How dare you?
Give yourself 24 hours, young lady, moving forward, and you'll be just fine. You are to be commended with how you handled this situation.
Okay.
And I am glad that the cooler heads prevailed, and you saw your way to define forgiveness and says, okay, you know what? It's time.
Now, to your larger issue, I have said for years and years, the huge difference between college basketball and professional basketball is college basketball is a coach's game.
Oh, yeah, they determine everything.
Everything. Iron fist. Yeah. They coach it, they run it.
Right.
They actually strangle it. They coach it to death. Right? Overcoach it. Once you get now the players take over. Upstairs, the players take over. So this is what you're having to deal with as a college basketball player. All right, what would be your advice to Angel Reese? She's going to the White House. Fine, great. And what if the First Lady decides to show up for this ceremony just to show that she's there with her husband and she's there for all the women and just for the LSU women,
I'm going to shake her hand, I'm going to hug you. I'm going to say, Dr. Biden, I apologize for some of the things that I said. You know, sometimes when emotion is high, logic is low. And I said some things that's not a true reflection of me and my family or this,
Would you really?
or this university. So
I'm not sure she feels that in her heart.
But sometimes, Skip, it's okay. I understand sometimes, when we're hurt, we'll say things and we'll do things. And sometimes, my grandma used to always say, boy, there's two things you can't get back: words said and deeds done. So you have to be careful what you say, Skip. Even in the situation when you feel the emotions are at their highest, you got to be careful of what you say. But I don't think what Angel said is unforgivable. I don't think what Dr. Biden said is unforgivable.
Well, no,
hey,
obviously not.
I'm gonna grab Dr. Biden. I'm gonna say, hey, y'all get this picture. I'm hugging the first lady, because one day, if she chooses to have kids, have a family, she's gonna say, your mom was in the White House. Look what your mom did. Mom got a picture with the first lady.
Here's my point, though. I agree with the principle of your point. I just don't want any of Angel's impact to be diminished by this, because what she did was correct. The stance she took, it might be a little too strident, it might be a little bit too over-emotional, you can make all those, but the essence of the stance she took was correct. And I think it had a positive impact resonating across this country.
Yeah.
I think it made a lot of people sit back and say, she's right.
You Skip, I believe you can make a point. What Dr. Biden was trying to do was wrong, because never we hadn't seen the losing team get invited to the White House. So I don't think anybody.
And you said that the first day, like that's just wrong.
That's not a precedent that you want.
No.
And so I think she made her point by saying, that's not right. Had the shoe been on the other foot, we weren't going.
Heck no.
So I think she made a point, even though she could, I'm getting a picture. If I go, I'm getting a picture. I guarantee you they get a picture together. What you want to bet?
Well, Angel would probably like to put it on IG.
I'm going to get a picture. I'm going to get a picture. I'm going to get a picture with the first lady. That's what I'm going to do.
All right. Okay. I hope that all's well, that it ended well.
I think it is, Skip.
Guys,
I think it's subsided.
I certainly hope they do get a picture together. I think there's a huge lesson in that